Welcome to the Appetite for Discussion show with your host, Brandon Crouch. Tonight's show is brought to you in part by Hunk of Junk Hauling.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope everyone likes the new intro song. It's brand spanking new. Coming to you on your radio dial.
Nice, yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm excited about tonight because we have a new guest, obviously, Mr. Nathan Driver.
Hey, how's it going?
And for those of you who don't know Nathan, get to know him because you, sir, are an up-and-coming star on the comedy scene.
Yeah, that's what they keep telling me. You've told me that.
Am I they?
Yeah, it's mostly just you. No, yeah, I'm doing comedy. I got to come back and do a spot at the Comedy Zone in Charlotte, like near Thanksgiving. But yeah, I'm out in San Diego doing it. It's fun.
So how did you go from going to school in California to? Are you still going to school?
No, I graduated.
Oh,
so
you're done.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
so
thanks. Yeah.
You're wicked smart, and you decided to do comedy.
I'm very smart and I'm very funny and single as well. To the
ladies.
No, I did. I had a job. I was working as an engineer at a medical device company in San Diego, and I thought about doing stand up before. When I think it was after Sonicare fired me or didn't renew my contract. I didn't have anything to do for 6 months. And I thought about it then, but I never did it. But then I went out to San Diego and I saw a couple bar shows. And I guess I didn't realize at the time, but I was actually seeing like a really high level bar show. Like the first show I ever went to, the headliner he's now a correspondent on The Daily Show.
Oh, wow.
And I just saw these people. I just assumed they were all like local guys.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, some of them, but it's a show in San Diego called Red Saloon Comedy Show. And it's just at this really cool bar on the beach. And yeah, the headliner is typically always someone pretty well known from LA, at least in the comedy scene.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to get out to the Comedy Store out
in LA. Yeah.
I haven't gotten to that end of the strip yet. I started at the Whiskey, the Rainbow, and I started making my way up. But the next time I'm out there, I'm going to definitely
you should go. They've got their like 20 headliner special or whatever that show is. That's where you could see like Joe Rogan do 15 minutes, like Theo Vaughn, like all these really famous people with Netflix specials. It's just where they go to work on their stuff. And it's just little 15-minute increments of the comedians, and it goes the whole night pretty much.
So how did you? So you went to this bar and you saw these guys up there,
yeah,
and you were like, you know what, headliners, I can do this.
Yeah, they were all really good, and I was just like, but then I guess you'd see one of them do like okay, and I'd be like, you know what, I think, I'm all right.
I got like 6 good dick jokes.
Yeah,
I can definitely do this.
I'm making the office laugh in the cubicles. I feel like could take it to. So yeah, there's like 4 comedy clubs in San Diego. They all have an open mic. So yeah, I watched for like 6 months. I was like too scared to go up. But then I started writing while I was watching, and then went up, and it's been fun. It takes up all my time. I don't sleep. I'm worse at my job. I'm like significantly worse at my job.
Have they caught on that you're significantly worse?
No.
Then don't stop.
I know. I think the rest of my like coworkers hate me. I think my job's really easy. I'm doing like a lot of paperwork, and they're in the lab like working on stuff.
More administrative.
Yeah, so I've sort of taken this administrative role, and
well, you know what they say: those who can't do manage.
Yeah, and I'm having trouble doing right now. So I'm hopefully I can manage something. Yeah.
So when you're like sitting up at night, so you're new into this thing. So when you write, what do you mean? Well, like how does that process? Walk me through the process.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think this is a thing a lot of comedians do. If you ever have a funny idea or anything, you just write it in your phone or whatever. And so I have it broken down by like the month. I just like December 2018. I just have all the funny ideas I have for this month, and most of them are just dog shit. They're just nothing, just not funny at all. But occasionally something will be there, and I'll just I'll actually write it down on a sheet of paper, and I've got like a notepad, and I just try to write something. I'll do like I'll free write in the mornings. I don't do this enough. I should do it more, but like I just wake up and just write whatever comes into my head for like 30 minutes. Try to fill up like 3 pages. And then sometimes I'll go back and look in that, and there'll be something that could be a joke. But a lot of times I just get on stage with an idea that I think is kind of funny and try to find a funny thing, try to make people laugh.
Like you feel the room in a way.
Yeah,
kind of shooting from the hip in a way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times I'll go up there with like a joke that I know is gonna work, sort of, or just a joke I've done before, and then just to get the baseline of like, okay, they're paying attention, they've laughed, so now I'm gonna try something new. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've been cheered off stage.
Cheered
to leave.
Are you serious?
There's like a little light.
Yeah.
That'll like the light goes on when you have 1 minute left at most open mics, and I was at one, and I wasn't having a great set, and then they started clapping when the light came on.
What's that feel like?
Yeah, I don't know. It's that felt pretty rough at the time, but I mean I've been on stage a lot. I've only done it a year, but I hit the ground running at that year. Like I've probably done like close to 200 open mics, and
damn,
because I do them like pretty much every night, and sometimes I do more than one. Yeah. No, really I'm like late as shit all the time.
And when you are doing administrative work, you're writing jokes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I definitely try to do jokes at work, or I'll be messaging people on Instagram about shows or whatever, because it's pretty much this whole like scene in San Diego of people that run shows and they work at the comedy clubs, but you all like once you've been doing it long enough, you kind of are friends with them, and then you're messaging about shows or whatever else is going on. I'm actually starting my own show. There's 4 comedy clubs in San Diego, and they're all like more or less like friendly to comedians. Like some of them are like, there's the one like A-level club, and they just have like headliners come in, like Joel McHale or like Hannibal Buress, if you know who like those people are. Like
Joel McHale's coming to Charlotte.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why. I think that's probably why I mentioned him, because I think he's going to be at this American Comedy Company, and it's a really nice club, but if you do really good on their open mics, like nothing happens. Like you're still so far away from being at the level where they'll actually book you. But there's other clubs that are smaller there that like feature more local people. And this one club, it was on the top of this abandoned mall. It was like a terrible location for a comedy club. Like no one knew it was there. And then recently they moved to like this corner of downtown, and they're getting like a lot more foot traffic, and they have like a back room there, like a second stage. And then I sort of finagled my way into getting a show there twice a month.
For real?
Yeah.
Is there a name? What's the name of the show?
It's called Love This Week. It's like it's weird because you can kind of hear the big show. Yeah. And if you're in the back room, it only seats like 40 people. So I didn't want to do like a normal stand-up show in there, just because you can kind of hear that there's like a better stand-up show going on outside.
You're like, look, guys, this is the amateur show. The real show's over here, and it's overshadowing me.
And sometimes
which is actually funny.
Yeah, it's only bad if like the show out there is going well and the show inside is not going well.
All you hear is the cheers and laughs.
You hear laughs, and then you don't hear laughs, and you're like, "Geez, man, if I'd have paid $10 more, I could be out there." But yeah, so it's just like it's gonna be like a live dating show, I guess, where I'm the host. I'm gonna try to live stream it actually.
So people will come up. Is it kind of like a modern day dating game?
Yeah. There's like the first show. It's gonna be like 2 segments. The first segment is gonna be me and another comedian, and then I don't have the girl for sure, but I'm gonna have a girl's Tinder, like on the dating app Tinder, on the TV screen, like projected behind us, and then we're gonna just be like giving her advice, and
this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, Because have you ever seen a girl do like an attractive female do their like open their Tinder at like
No,
8
dude,
p.m.?
Since I've seen you last, I'm married.
Yeah, I think
with
you were
twins.
married. Oh, really? Oh, you
Yeah.
have twins now?
So,
I don't think
no.
you had twins.
No, I did definitely. They're barely two.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
no, there is no Tindering going on
Okay.
in the Crouch household.
That's okay. But even before, you ever
no
do a
Tinder,
little
no Bumble,
little
no,
OK Cupid or a little?
No. I pretty just no.
Okay.
No.
You guys met the old-fashioned way,
Yeah, we
in a
actually
bar.
talked at a friend's house,
Oh.
and then I took her to a bar.
Oh,
after.
okay.
That's right. And then she realized I need all of that.
Oh,
All
that's
5'7" of that.
yeah. She was.
That's right. Because my wife's 5'10", flat-footed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I love climbing that tree.
Yeah. No, that's
she's a beaut, man.
yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah. No,
that's
she's gorgeous.
That's good. Yeah, maybe your kids will be normal size. So.
No, my son is already like he wears 12-month-old pants. Like, and he's he's like 28 months. So, dude, I mean, he's like a little.
Oh, so it's a boy and a girl.
Yeah, I have a little boy and a little girl. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God. So great story. So
Yeah.
I was doing some stuff before we came here, and I ran home to change clothes, and they're all napping, and I hear my daughter. She's just screaming. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So I run upstairs, and she's like, Daddy, and I run in there. She has shit her diaper and taken her diaper off, and she's moonwalking in her shit.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Like, that's what I said. Oh. So I was like, no. So I run, and Kristen, she comes in, and she's like, what happened? I was like, look. So I pick her up, and then I run to the bathroom. I sit her down.
Yeah.
I was like, don't move, don't touch anything. I said, put your arms out. So she's standing there like this, and like a standing spread eagle, and I'm wiping poo off her bottom, like literally 12 minutes before I get here. It's like, it's great. So there's a lot of fun. They are.
Yeah, no, my brother actually just had a kid. That's kind of why I'm home for so long. I used all my vacation days to come back. He just had a kid like 3 weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I didn't do anything. I barely. They don't even let
You're
me
an
hold.
uncle.
Yeah, they barely let me hold it. Like they let me hold it, but there was chaperoned, like supervised holding.
Supervised holding.
Yeah. She's tiny though, so small. Like I can't even deal with them at this.
Well, that doesn't get any better.
Yeah.
No.
I think
they get fun.
Two I think is pretty rough too.
Yeah, it can be. They're just mobile and they're running into everything.
Yeah.
And they can talk, and then you're trying to grab one with like one toe while you're grabbing the other one with your pinky.
Oh
like,
yeah.
trying to, it's
and
fun.
You got
though.
two?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was a BOGO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we signed up for.
But it's a boy and girl, so they're fraternal. So
Correct.
Do they look alike?
Nothing.
Or
you would
really?
not even pick them out in a room that they were brother sister.
Yeah.
And totally different personalities.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Okay.
But they're fun, man.
Yeah.
They keep us on our toes for sure.
Mm.
So I'm sorry I interrupted. You were saying beforehand.
No. Yeah. Just talking about the show. It's going to be just a live day. Oh yeah. It's a lot. Yeah. So it's going to be like a girl. If you've ever seen an attractive girl be on Tinder at like 8 p.m. on a Wednesday, it's like every person they swipe on, it's a match. And then like 50% of them will message them instantly. So like the original idea was going to be me catfishing a guy in front of an audience. So I've just got pictures of some hot girl on my phone and I've made a fake profile. But that felt sort of disingenuous. So I decided we'll have
funny.
Yeah. I decided we'll have a girl and maybe a whole room full of people catfishing a guy. I still want to try to make a guy come there.
It'll happen.
Come to the comedy club. Like I don't know if it'll happen the first night, and I don't know if I want to do it every week, but I think I could get a guy. I mean, I guess it's not me; it's a girl. But I think we could get a person to show up, and then I think it'd be entertaining for an audience to be like, "Hey, we got a random guy from the street to come here and go on a date."
Though, for real, when he punches you in the face, it's good. You're going to get a laugh.
I know.
So
like, that's why I want to record it. So like,
this is not part of the show.
yeah. We'll record it just for evidence for the police when they go. And yeah, there's actually a security guys at the door. Just bouncers like at a normal bar. And I wonder if they'll. I wonder if I'd be like, hey, just so you know, there might be a guy coming in. He thinks he's going to be on a date. I haven't met him yet, so I don't know what he's going to look like or his name. Just be prepared.
But when he sees me, he's going to be disappointed.
Yeah. I think the girl's going to be there. I'm so far I'm 4 for 4 on girls that I've approached that want to do the show.
Oh, that's good. And they're attractive ladies.
Yeah, they're all
hell.
cute. Yeah.
Okay.
And one she was kind of cute in person, but then her photos were like, she's just not a photogenic gal. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to use you anymore because I don't.
I totally get it. I look a lot taller in my pictures.
Oh, so you're better in the photos,
right? And then I show up and they're like, "Where'd it go?" My wife tells me I'm shrinking.
Oh.
I'm like, "Here, honey." Oh yeah. So what is it like when you meet a chick and she finds out like that you're a part-time?
Oh, I mean, I play it up, yeah, for sure. It's, I don't know. I don't think it's as cool as being like a drummer or something, like in a band.
Well, if you're a musician in the band, like that's the ultimate, right?
Yeah. This is in San Diego. I think girls would rather hear me be like, "Oh, I run a vape shop," or like I'm a professional surfer. Like I think they want that more than comedian. I've gotten 0 girls off of comedy.
Really?
Yeah. Let me think. Yeah, definitely 0.
I think 0 hookups off of comedy.
So I think what it does help if I meet a girl outside of comedy and then I tell her I do it, then it's like I'm passionate about this thing.
Right.
And you know how women are. They're just.
No, I don't. Tell me.
Is this? Are we recording yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on,
I'll just keep my opinions on women to myself. No, I think girls like a guy that's passionate, and that's. I have a passion now because I was doing the medical device thing before, and it was all right. I was testing anal probes at your company.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fair point. So you really made a turnaround.
Yeah. Well, I know I had to explain. I've had to explain to a bunch of people that I'm like, I worked at this medical device company. They're like, oh, what did they do? I'm like, oh, they made anal probes. And I guess I could probably explain it a little better.
That's a great icebreaker, though.
Yeah, no, I think it's
like
fun.
Funny guys.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah,
it's a good icebreaker. So.
Yeah, no, I try to bring it up organically. Like, hey, I'm Nathan. I do stand up. Do you want to hang out?
Now, what you could do is meet a chick early, buy her a drink at the bar. And then say, hey, wait a minute, I'll be right back. And then you go on stage because it's time for your set.
Yes.
My friend.
I have.
Text me, let me know how that goes.
Yeah, no, that would be good. If I was hanging around before. I've done that once to a guy. I wasn't trying to pick him up.
A turn.
Yeah, this is the worst. This is the worst stand-up show I've ever been a part of. But it was after a memorial for a person. It was at a bar. And I guess one of the bar regulars had died, and then they were having a memorial for him. He was Philly Phil was his name. He was big like Eagles fan or something. And they were like, "Should we have this? Should we have this comedy show after? Like, we didn't know that there was going to be a memorial." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Like, that's what these people need to laugh.
They need to laugh.
Remember Philly Phil." And I was gonna do a toast to Philly Phil or something. I was like, "Yeah, I'll get him on my side." And the show was going pretty bad. Just from the start, and there was some guy at the bar, and he was just like, "Man, this sucks." And I was like, I think the next guy's good though, and I was the next guy, and I just went up there and bombed for 10 minutes straight. Like, yeah. Bars are weird because sometimes people aren't expecting a show to happen. Sometimes the show just happens around them.
Yeah,
and some people are good sports, but a lot of people aren't. They just want to talk to their friends or whatever. So I basically just try to yell at people until they're listening to me, but it's kind of a risky strategy, and sometimes it just turns them off.
It seems like there could be a tendency for violence.
I don't know. I think I have a look about me that doesn't
makes people want to punch you.
No, they're just so non-threatened by me. Like, true. I can do whatever. I called the biggest man I've ever seen in my life. I called him a bitch from stage, and he just laughed. He just did nothing. And I wasn't having a good set. I hadn't talked to him before. I just pointed at him. I was like, "Yeah, this bitch over here." And I don't know. When you're on stage, and you got a microphone. You're like a skinny white guy like me. They're just like,
that is the least threatening person I've ever seen in my life.
They're like, "All right, tell a joke, man." They're like, "Oh, call me a bitch. That's funny." Yeah.
So how long does it take you? The clip I've watched of you is like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So how much work goes into making a 5-minute bit? Like you said, you did 10 minutes. I mean, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's a long time on stage. Like my first open mic was 3 minutes, and I was just they light you at 1 minute. I always try to at least wait to the light because then it feels like you give up if you don't at least get to that.
Okay.
that light. But I remember being like, "Oh, thank God it's on." And that's 120 seconds of comedy, and most of that's being like, "Hey, how's it going?" So yeah, 10 minutes is a long time. I think I've done like 12 is the longest I've done. I think it's good. I guess I could do more, but I'm probably comfortable with like 8 to 10, and 10's kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
It's just a long time to be on stage. With no instruments, no nothing, just trying to make people laugh and be entertained. I think it can get a little monotonous, just me on stage. I mean, I'm sure your podcast listeners are tuning out by now. They're like, all right.
They're like, who is this guy?
I think we see what's happening. But yeah, I think it just takes a long time to build up, like an hour or something like that.
Do you have a sounding board, like you bounce stuff off of people?
Yeah, I've got a couple comedians that I take notes from anyone. If anyone wants to give me any advice on anything, I don't necessarily listen, but I don't like go by it, but I'll definitely listen to anyone. But yeah, I've got a couple comedians. I try to watch their sets, so they try to watch. They're typically like newer guys that I think are funny. Because I just give them my advice. I give like people who are way better than me advice, and they're like, okay,
I'm sure
yeah, you should do that. Yeah, I think the people who are like humble enough to realize that. I mean, yes, there's people who are better than me, but they're not like
right.
They're not making money off stand up to the point.
So like
when
Dave Chappelle comes in, you're like, Dave, you're doing great. But here's what I think you should really do. Have you thought about this?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that to him. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends. If I got a really good tag for a joke, I might. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a fun little community. There's like a whole like open mic hierarchy.
Really?
And it has to do with mostly how long you've been doing comedy, and then also how funny you are, and then if you have, like, let's say you work at a comedy club, or you book a show, like you have a show that's like every Tuesday at a bar or something like that.
Yeah.
Then that will get you a little more like respect or whatever. Yeah, it's weird. It's because it's like open mics, like who cares? Nobody even. They're always free. The crowd is normally paying. Sometimes they're paying attention. I don't know. It's good and bad. But then if you're like a cool person who's been maybe you've been doing it like 5 years and you're really funny and you just go into the open mic, they'll be like, "Oh, do you want to go up next?" And then I'll be in the back like, "What the fuck? I'm next." Like.
No, bitch, I'm next.
But I'm getting to the point where they'll be like, "Oh, Nathan, do you want to go up?" I'm like, "Oh,
okay,
yeah."
You're getting a little bit of respect.
Yeah, like yeah,
you've been doing this
me.
now for a year.
Yeah, a little over a year. Yeah, it's been. I think I'm pretty good for a year. I don't want to sound
if you've already
like
had a little spot at the Comedy Zone here in Charlotte.
Yeah, I was surprised because I emailed them asking to do their open mic. I guess I'm not super familiar with how it works in North Carolina, but they're the only comedy club here, so I guess it's probably a lot. Most open mics you just sign up the day of, you just put your name in a bucket or something. But they were like, "Yeah, can you email us in a clip?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I have that clip from the Ice House, which is actually a pretty famous club. Like Steve Martin worked there back in the day. Joe Rogan's there all the time. Yeah, but I emailed that clip and they were like, "Hey, do you want to do a show instead of the open mic?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great." They didn't pay me or anything, but
how did it go?
It was good. It was fun. My mom was sitting right in the front row, so I did pretty much my best jokes. I had a joke that maybe I would have done if my mom wasn't there. It's about my dick. It's the joke.
You can tell it if you want.
I can tell. Let me see. It's not really worth. It doesn't really work not on stage.
You mean the joke or your dick?
Well, it's a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
So who do you look up to, or like who are some of your influences or inspirations, like some of the bigger comedians?
I mean, I think when I first started, it was like Louis C.K. And I think it still is, even though he's kind of got a bad rep right now.
But it'll come back, don't you think?
Yeah,
the dust will settle.
Yeah, I think so. If you wanna go like black and white, like what he did was bad, then I guess it was bad. But if you want to say there's a gray area, you'd be like, well, it's not. What he did wasn't nearly as bad as what Harvey Weinstein did, or
allegedly.
Yeah, sure. What they allegedly did. Yeah, so I think and like you don't have to watch him like if you don't want to, if you think it's what he did is he's irredeemable or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked him, but now I'm just like I look up to like local guys who are like maybe they've been doing it like 10 years and you never know who they are, but I think they're really good and they can crush a room and they're only like 30 or something like that.
So let's say, like, for example, they've been doing it 10 years. They're still doing the local scene.
Yeah,
Are they making any money?
Yeah, I think so. At that point, some of them are. Like, I know there's a guy who does, in San Diego, who does cruise ships. So he pretty much, he does comedy in San Diego, and you don't get paid a lot to do it, do actual stand-up, like, at, like, your home club or whatever, like, clubs in the area. You maybe get, like, $150 a night or something like that.
That's not bad.
Yeah, which is not bad, but it's like you're not, maybe you get 5 or 6 of those a month.
Okay.
And then you can't really live off that.
Not in California.
Yeah, it'd be hard almost anywhere, but yeah, but if you have something like a podcast where maybe you've got like ad revenue or something like that, or like this one guy does cruise ships. Another guy is like he writes and films these commercials for soap. It's kind of like
soap.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a little bit like the Axe body spray kind of commercials, just like a funny commercial with a guy who's like really serious about soap or like telling you or like doing all this weird stuff just with soap. Yeah, and I heard that he makes money doing that. And he gave me some free soap. I opened up for him in a show, and he gave me some soap afterwards. It was fun.
That is so random.
Yeah. It's stuff like that. And there's a podcast in the area called where I'm from called Mueller, She Wrote.
Mueller, She Wrote.
Yeah, it's about it's like Murder, She Wrote,
yeah.
But oh yeah, you're 50 years old. You probably
That's
understand
right. I'm getting
closer,
right? Much closer than you, my friend.
Yeah, I'm 27, so I'm old
you're just
in the open mic world. I'm old.
Yeah, well, 38, brother.
Oh, well, you look great. You got all your hair, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're starting to get little gray.
Little gray. That's
areas.
fine. I think
it's okay.
Yeah.
I'd rather turn gray than turn loose.
Yeah. No, mine's getting loose. That's why.
It really?
It's not bad.
You got long. It seems like you got long hair. But
that's why I'm growing.
Top now?
I'm not bald. I've got hair for the female fans of the Appetite for Discussion. I've got hair.
There's some hair there,
but it's getting thin, is what I noticed. And my dad's bald, so that's why it's long right now. I don't really like having long hair, but I'm like, this is my only chance.
Yeah, you better do it, man.
Yeah, because I think maybe in 5 years my man bun's not going to look so great. It's going to be like 5 hairs across the top of my head.
Will you please do it anyway?
Tied. Yeah, I might.
Because that could be funny.
Yeah, it's definitely a look. I see it in California.
Do you really?
There's dudes that have like 3 hairs tied in their ponytail in the back, and
they're hanging on, man. They just can't let it go.
Yeah, but it's a little bit like they don't care,
They
I don't know.
Clearly don't care.
Yeah. Because I guess the only thing to do is just to shave it. Like once you're really gone up top.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to do the comb over.
I wouldn't. No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I don't know what I'll do. I'll let you know.
Yeah. If you're 38 and you don't have any, you got all your hair, then you'll probably be fine for a while.
I hope so. We'll see.
I guess it could come in waves. I don't really know how it works.
My wife will tell me.
Yeah.
She'll let me know.
Yeah, that was the first person I had a girlfriend tell me.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, this is
getting all thin."
Yeah, in the back. And I was like, "Oh, that's weird." I was
Thanks,
like,
honey.
"Oh man, I got a little biological clock going. You want to get married?" Like,
no, not at all. So when you're doing your circuit, do you mostly just stay around San Diego, or do you go upstate or out of state?
No, I'm pretty much I do it in San Diego. I think I guess my goal for me is to do comedy full time, to quit my job and to make my money off comedy. But I think I'm really far away from that right now. And that doesn't necessarily mean stand up. Maybe it's like some kind of writing job or something. Yeah. Or some kind of like piecemeal living that I make off of, like, maybe it's like doing the show and doing a little bit of stand up on the side and doing like larger gigs. Or I'm actually getting into like audio video because I'm trying to live stream this show.
Okay.
So I bought this little camera. I'm in a good place for open mic because I actually have a job and make money.
Yes.
And it's like I have less time than the other comedians, but I have a lot more money.
So it can afford your. Well, I'm gonna call it a hobby, but it's not a hobby.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I guess it is. $40 I've made off stand up.
So you've been a comedian for a year, and you've made $40.
I made $40, and 20 of that was in a contest that I had to pay $30 to enter. So I don't really know if I should even count that.
-10.
Yeah.
So you've really made $30.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody that.
Yeah, but I've gotten a lot of free drinks and meals from the comedy
Really?
club. Yeah.
Okay. So
normally,
they feed you guys.
normally, if you perform at a club or if you perform at a bar, they'll give you a free drink. If you perform at a club, they'll give you a free meal.
That's cool. So did you get something free? Oh, so at the Comedy Zone, you must have got.
No, at the Comedy Zone, they made me pay full price for 2 drinks.
What?
I'm glad that they. I'm glad that they gave me my bill after I got off stage because I might would have like mentioned something.
You think?
Because I said in my Comedy Zone when I was on stage, I had a couple friends that were in the crowd, and so I was like, "Yeah, I'm normally from San Diego, and but I came back to Charlotte to do this," and then people were clapping for that, and I was like, "Yeah, you can clap. I mean, I paid for my flight here. Like, it's not." It's not like I'm doing great or anything. And then if I'd have gotten my bill for my 2 whiskeys I had, I might would have been like, I didn't even get free drinks here at this bullshit club. Just kidding. I love the Comedy Zone. Please.
I do love the Comedy Zone, man, but it freaks me out because I'm looking for the exits. I'm like, if this place catches fire,
yeah, because it's a basement.
Yeah,
yeah. That's the best place for a comedy club, though.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's. I guess what you want is low ceilings and sort of people crammed together all facing a stage because it's basically the brighter it is and like the farther spaced out you are, like the more self-conscious you might be about your laughter. Not everyone, but some people are just like when you're at an open mic and it's dead and there's like 3 people here, you're like, when you laugh, people hear, they know, okay, that person likes that joke about black people or sex or something. And then when you're in the club, that's just like everyone's crammed up near the front of a stage. It's just like you're in this experience and people are laughing. I mean, you probably watch if you ever watch like a Netflix special or something, you don't really laugh out loud that much on your couch. But if you're in a comedy club, it's normally like people are rolling. Like it's just because you got that communal environment of everyone laughing.
It's
and
a
you're
safe space to laugh.
Sure, yeah, it's a safe space. And people are just dumb and they're like, "Oh, these people are laughing. Okay, this must be funny. I'm laughing too." Not my fans. They're very smart. If you laugh at my jokes. Yeah.
We saw a comedian recently at the Comedy Zone. Is it Goldberg? Gary Goldberg? My wife's gonna murder me because I can't remember his name. But he was very witty. Like he was very articulate. And he had a big vocabulary. And was, you really had to pay attention to what he was saying. I was like,
oh yeah.
But that's his whole shtick.
Yeah. There's definitely some people like that.
This guy too, for sure.
Oh, he's like he was a headliner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Goldberg. I can't remember.
Yeah. There's so many funny people out there, even that are headlining the Comedy Zone that I mean, maybe I have heard of them, but I've never seen them. Or I don't know what they're
kind of making like a resurgence, or maybe I'm just paying attention.
Yeah.
Or
well, I think it's weird because there's so much more comedy out there because of Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and all these other and like HBO. Because it used to be everyone competed for like an HBO.
Yes, 1 hour special.
Yeah, like the only thing that you wanted to do, every comedian was just kind of funneled towards either being on one of the late night shows and doing 5 minutes there, because then that gives you recognition so you can tour.
Right. And
then doing the HBO special because you get money from that. And then the Comedy Central specials, like those were good too, but I heard they only paid like $30,000. Which, I mean, is, I would love to, make $40, obviously.
Right. Listen to you. I'm not going to take 30 grand.
Yeah.
I've made 40 in a year.
But I just remember, I just remember like seeing those comedians on like Premium Blend in like the early 2000s and being like, wow, these guys are probably millionaires. And it was just like, no, they're just dudes who are living in LA and maybe they got a lucky break and they get to do this for 30 minutes. Yeah. Don't go into comedy if you want to make money.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's rough. But I think it's good because it's just hard. You got to like really want it and be good, and or you can just have a bunch of Instagram followers, and that helps.
Right.
Yeah, because there's people that'll headline clubs, and they're not good comedians. They're not good enough to do it for an hour, but they have a big enough Instagram follower that they can sell out the club. And
Really?
the club owners, they just want people to buy food and drinks.
Of course.
That's how they make money. So
They don't care if the guy's putting out some good product, right?
yeah. If you can get people there, and they're not going to get bad Yelp reviews because of you. And the thing is, if you
it's all about the Yelp.
yeah, it is. And if you show up to see a specific person, you're probably going to like it no matter what. Like I saw TJ Miller. Do you know who that guy is? He's on Silicon Valley. He was in Deadpool. He's like the friend in Deadpool. And I thought he was really funny. But he didn't have like great jokes, in my opinion. He's just like a entertaining celebrity guy who's up there being entertaining. And like everyone who came to see him is huge TJ Miller fans, so they were going to be happy. And clap, yeah. Like he just comes out there and people are losing their minds already. I go out on stage and they're just like, "Who is this? Like, haven't we seen this guy?" I just look like every other comedian they've seen, a skinny white guy.
And you're going to go, oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've definitely gone out on stage to no applause. Most people at least will give you a fake something.
Right, just a little like, geez, let's throw this poor kid a bone.
Yeah.
So now you've been doing it a year, so your street cred, comedy cred.
I got a little San Diego street cred. Yeah.
Okay.
Not.
So if I come out there for work or something,
yeah,
and I start looking around the scene, I throw out the Nathan Driver name.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, oh, you know Nate.
Yeah, depending. If you throw it out to the open micers.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, I think most people who do shows in San Diego probably know who I am. Yeah. Yeah, I'm more in the clubs. There is like there's these two scenes. There's like a club scene and a bar scene.
Yeah.
And then the bar scene is normally just like degenerates. Like these people are like the barriers for entry for comedy is like open mics are pretty low. Like there's one bar in particular, it's like it's $5 to get in or $0 if you do the open mic. So if you're like a crazy person and you're like, "Oh, I pay less money and they'll give me a microphone," like, yeah, man, it's a win-win. And so I'm more in the club scene, which I think is good, but maybe I'm not as great as dealing with like rowdier crowds, because that's what you get in the bar scenes is like they just want dirty jokes, and I got some dirtier jokes. I try to provide for everyone. Yeah.
You know, on my bachelor party, we went to go see one of my favorite comedians of all time when I was a kid, and even still now was Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh, yeah.
I was so excited to see him, because he went away for a while.
Yeah.
The Dice Man is back.
He's still doing it now, right? But I guess he's just not as... I think he still does the same stuff. Is that...
because
he kind of had an act.
New stuff, right?
Yeah.
But everyone loves to nurse your rhymes.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing. And that's...
To my understanding, he's come to understand, like, okay, I'm going to give him the new stuff, but then I'm going to hit him with the, at the end. And that's what everybody's there for.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Because he's got a weird... Because I feel like most other comedians, they're just like, yeah, we've heard it. We don't want to hear it again.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, with Dice, they're like, okay, do it again. He's like Kennison, I guess, a little bit.
It's like when you go... that was another great one that unfortunately I never got to see.
Yeah.
He was a lot of... I'm big into 80s metal, hair metal. I like
sure. Oh, yeah.
So those guys, they fit right in to what I was
definitely
growing up to and listening to. So, yeah. Matter of fact, pretty sure Sam Kinison was driving the limo to Girls, Girls, Girls with Motley Crue video, wasn't he? Yeah, because they pulled up in front of the Whiskey A Go-Go. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
They're riding around the limo or with a hot tub in the back.
Yeah,
it's going to be you soon, my friend.
Hopefully.
Andrew Dice Clay's in Stars Born.
He is in A Star Is Born.
Oh, really?
He's Lady Gaga's father.
Oh.
That is right. I forgot about that. And it was also in the, remember that late 80s, early 90s movie where they're like on a beach somewhere, stranded or something? It's not like, I can't remember the name of it. That's going to kill me. But yeah, he was in A Star Is Born. I saw that.
Yeah. Good. Wasn't a stand-up comedian.
No.
Yeah.
Really.
No, it's actually a serious role. Who know?
Dave Chappelle.
Oh, he was in Stars Born?
Yeah, he played Bradley Cooper's friend.
That's right.
Yeah.
He goes over
I
to
gotta
his
see that.
house.
A bunch of old comedians, but they're not funny.
They're not funny in it. Yeah, that's right. Because he was drunk in Chappelle's front yard.
Yeah.
Remember?
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think doing comedy helps you act a little bit.
Of course.
Because you got to say.
Opens up so many doors.
Yeah, I try to say the jokes like I'm saying them for the first time in front of, when actually it's probably like the 100th time I'm doing it.
Imagine if you were a huge star and you've told that joke thousands of times.
Yeah.
You know, in the delivery, in the pitch, in the whole, you got to say everything. I mean, it's an art form.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I did a contest in San Diego, and I got past the first round, but then I lost in the second round. But I was actually pretty glad because I felt like pressure to do. I always feel pressure to do well, but then I felt pressure to do my best jokes. But even though I was kind of tired of them, I was like, yeah, this joke does well, but I just don't like saying it that much. And I lost, and I was like, okay, cool. I don't have to do that one again. And I don't think I've done it since. There was just one in particular. No, wait, I definitely have. But
that's crazy that you've only been doing a year and you've already got jokes that you're like, I'm gonna stick this over here for a while. You know,
yeah, I know. I probably shouldn't. I think one thing that maybe I should do more of is work on like an act. Like, let's say I've got a joke right now that's like a B, and I should try to get it to an A plus or something, like, instead of writing another B joke or another, hopefully a B plus. Hopefully I'm getting better. Yeah.
With you doing open mics and bar scenes and stuff like that, is it easier for you to get away with, let's say, less politically correct jokes?
Yeah.
You know, because it's a very sensitive environment that we're in.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to do political jokes, not because I'm kind of into politics, but I just think it's super divisive.
Sure.
And the crowds in San Diego are pretty much, it's like a super liberal area, like Southern California, but San Diego is a military town.
Yep.
So, like, you're rarely going to win over the crowd either way you go, because people are so like split one side or the other. Like, if you like talk shit about Trump, like, sometimes people go up there and talk shit about Trump and they're like, this is going to be great, and it just eats shit in front of the crowd. And I like it because pretty much they're just rehashing like the shit they've seen on late night.
Sure.
And that's the main reason I try not to do that much political stuff, because it's just like there's better people there's teams of writers that are writing better jokes about the shit more current than I can do. Like, it's their day job is to just, a team of 10 people are writing these jokes about Trump or like whoever. Unless I have like a really cool perspective that's me,
right,
I can't like do that.
But even if, like, what was it, Kevin Hart just bowed out of hosting the Oscars because jokes he did or something he said.
Oh yeah, like, yeah, that's like, yeah, people going back in Twitter and like looking up your stuff. Yeah,
you're a comedian. I don't know what he said. I really don't know what he said, because I didn't even look, because I was like, this is ridiculous.
I think it's just some homophobic stuff he said in like 2005 when
was it a joke, or was it like
his
opinion?
Oh yeah, it's all 100% jokes.
It was tweets.
Yeah, they're all like tweets. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, it kind of used to be different like 15 years ago. Like,
but isn't that crazy they can go back 15 years off a tweet or whatever?
Yeah,
10
yeah,
years or 5
yeah.
years.
I don't know if it was. I guess maybe, I don't know if Twitter was around 15 years ago.
Either
but
way,
it's pretty
I mean,
close.
it's like, but he's a comedian. It's interesting what you get to have comedic relief from.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you can tell a funny Trump joke, or you can tell a white guy joke all day long, you know, and everybody laughs. But if you veer off and hit some other chord, it's like, oh well, he's a homophobe.
Yeah, yeah, and that's sort of the thing right now. Is, have you ever? It's if you want to look up something that's kind of similar to this, if you ever look up old NBA player tweets from like.
Really?
Yeah, they're like guys who are in the NBA now, but like when they were tweeting this stuff, they were in like high school, and especially a couple of the ones from like Africa, because like homophobia is like pretty big in Africa. Like, they're like, you know, there's countries they'll like kill you if you're like gay, and so there's like players who are in the NBA now,
and we have it so shitty here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's terrible.
It's
here.
like,
we should really do more.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then Kevin Hart is getting in trouble for doing this. Yeah, it's definitely a weird time, and there's rooms that are so different. Like, most open mic rooms, you can say whatever you want. I remember one of the times I really didn't want. I was really out on comedy. I went up on stage and I just bombed at an open mic. I do good sometimes. I'm pretty much only talking about my bombs.
I was there thinking, have you ever really hit a home run? Because I'm just talking about.
Sometimes
your failures.
Sometimes I laugh. Sometimes I'll trip on the way on top stage and I'll get a laugh from there. No, I just did poorly at an open mic, and then the guy who went up right after me was just this guy just said the N-word. Just a white guy on stage said the N-word on stage a bunch of times in a total unfunny way, in my opinion. And there was these drunk frat bros in the back that were eating it up, and they were dying and clapping. And then I was just like, wow, man, I guess it was cool. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm glad that they didn't laugh at me, because they're douchers. They're just drunk guys, and they want to hear somebody say something crazy, even if it's not. If you logically think about it, maybe it's not super funny.
But don't you feel like you're getting in a way to where you're kind of gonna only be stuck with the dick jokes?
Yeah,
because
sort of.
If you tell a
like
gay
the self-deprecating,
you gotta humor. Just beat yourself up. Because if you say a racial joke, well, it's you can't do that. And if it's you gotta be careful about talking about a lady who has maybe voluptuous things. Because then it's Me Too, and so what are you left to talk about?
I always think if it's funny enough, then you can do whatever.
That's Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I would say some of his tweets weren't very funny. They were just kind of him trying to be funny. But yeah, I don't know. I see people's acts and I'm just like, wow, this is really good, and it doesn't feel like it's racist or sexist or whatever it is, even if maybe they're talking about stuff like that. I don't know. You can't.
It's tough, right?
Yeah, I totally. I think I get it. There's definitely.
But don't you feel like as a society, we've become so hypersensitive? We can't take that. I'm going to go to a comedy show and I'm going to take off my sensitive hat and I'm just going to be entertained and have a laugh.
Yeah,
and that's okay to do that.
And I think that's actually a good thing if the host of the comedy show should say that at the beginning of shows to get people, depending on the room. A lot of open mics, I'm like, I can probably get away with saying whatever I want. San Diego's pretty white.
Yeah,
it's actually interesting for me to come back to Charlotte and see, first off, black audience members, but then also black comedians. There's a lot of black comedians in LA, but not San Diego specifically, and it's just different. And a lot of the jokes that work here, I would say they probably wouldn't work in California, or maybe they wouldn't work as well. And a lot of people, there's a lot of jokes that bash religion in California, and that goes over well. And then I saw a guy do that at the Comedy Zone a couple nights ago, and I was like, man, dude, you gotta know where you are, dude. This is
yeah, you're in the Bible Belt.
All these people are going to church tomorrow.
That's
and
right.
then you're gonna talk shit on God. I get it, but you can joke. I think you can joke about whatever, but if you want to make these people laugh.
But even the people, I feel like you do need to know your audience. But even the people who need to be more sensitive,
yeah.
If you're going to a comedy show, you can't wear your sensitive panties into the show. All things are open to be made fun of because we're there to laugh.
Yeah, because they're all jokes.
It's a joke. It doesn't mean that's what somebody means. They're not being sincere about it, but there could be something funny. I mean, there's something funny about everything that we're mentioning and not mentioning. You can find the humor in anything, even at a funeral.
Yeah.
I mean.
Oh yeah, no. I wanted to have the post-memorial comedy show. I was like, this is a great environment. I'm ready
it's just
to laugh.
we were having a Christmas prayer, and our my wife's great uncle, great. I don't know, he's 95. He's a World War II vet, and he's a very religious man. And he says the prayer, and he does a good job saying the prayer, but he's a little long-winded, and his voice is a little shaky.
Sure.
And bless her uncle's heart, I don't know what got into him, but he just couldn't stop laughing. And now he's now he's nudging my brother-in-law. Now he's starting to giggle.
Yeah.
And it's what an inopportune time to find humor in whatever, but you just have to roll with it.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably right. It's, I don't know. I don't see how can you have fun as a person if you're just offended 50% of the day.
50.
or
Come on.
yeah, I'm never offended. I'm trying to do. I've done a couple roast battles. I've done
Have
two.
you?
I've done 2 roast battles, 2-0. Shout out to Jonathan Falconer and Tim Hill. You fuckers lost. I want someone to. I'm allergic to peanuts. I want someone to
You
give
are
me.
allergic to
Yeah,
peanuts?
I want someone to write a good joke about me being allergic to peanuts. I haven't heard one yet. Every roast battle I'm in, I'm like, hey, I'm allergic to peanuts. If you can think of a good joke, please say it.
I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe it's just a hard
Not
thing.
really.
But I don't know. I just I haven't heard a good one.
About you being allergic to
Yeah,
peanuts?
there's a lot of like nut pun
Yeah.
things, but it's like I maybe it's like I heard that in 6th grade. It
Right.
could be just because I've heard a lot of variations of it.
Could be.
But yeah, if any of the listeners want to submit them in the comment section
I'll
below,
text you.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
You can leave the comments on the YouTube channel. Feel free, please.
Yeah, just really go in on peanut allergy.
Peanut allergies.
Yeah, not just me, just on children who have them, anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's so
Just-
wrong. You know, it's funny because we were afraid that our daughter maybe have a peanut allergy.
Yeah.
Because she started having like this little red rash around her mouth. I'm like, oh.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
only way to know, it's not the first time you're introduced to it. It's, it could be later on in life. Right?
Sure,
You have
yeah.
So, we took a tube of peanut butter and I drove to the emergency room parking lot and we stopped and I fed her peanut butter.
Oh.
And I was like, we're going to find out. And if shit goes down, we're right here. So, and we just sat there and we just stared at
Roll
her.
the dice. I
That's
like
Well,
it.
if you're going at me, we got to find out.
Yeah,
I don't want her to be at daycare and they're like, ugh,
Yeah,
they don't
no,
even do that anymore. You can't have peanuts at daycare.
Yeah,
Nothing.
yeah. It's
And you can't. Do you know you can't bring anything homemade to daycare? If you're bringing in for like
Oh,
a
really?
party,
because
everything
they
has to come
can't
from the
read
store.
the ingredients.
That's
It's
right,
not
and
homemade.
the seal can't be broken.
Yeah,
So I appreciate that.
yeah.
But yeah, I was like,
It's-
well, let's rip this Band-Aid off and see if this is
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
happen. And thank God it didn't.
Yeah, I really think that's the next group that is going to be like a social justice warrior. I call us peanut-free Americans. That's my term for us, and I just
the
want
new
to be offended.
You're the new vegan.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, something like that.
Great.
It's like, do you know peanut allergies kill 20 million people every year? I don't know, some number
No,
I've made up.
7. But hey,
Yeah, it's probably low.
the peanut
yeah,
neg
peanut-free
allergy thing's
American.
for real, man. Peanut-free America.
Yeah, that's I've heard no one else say this. So if people, it's
You
mine.
should
I think.
trademark it.
Yeah, no, I think I want to say it on stage. I did a little thing about being. I tried to tell some jokes about being allergic to peanuts on stage. I don't think they went over very well, but it's just about my sitting at the peanut-free table at lunch when I was young. And we didn't even have peanut-free tables when I was.
If you
I just
ate
made it up.
peanuts on stage and went into anaphylaxis, then they would understand.
Yeah, and sometimes I want to. Sometimes when it's going bad, I'm just like,
That
you know
would
what, ham? You guys got a chocolate cake back there with some almonds. It's all nuts, actually. I'll go nut-free Americans. And that
Nut-free. There you go.
Sounds like an abstinence thing too. It could be.
It does.
Yeah, male abstinence program. Might have some copyright stuff with that. Yeah. Are you not worried about getting you fired from your job?
Well, I try not to mention that place
Okay.
on the show.
Oh, okay.
Nobody really knows about it because there's only 7 people who follow. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty safe.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're fine for right now.
Yeah, but obviously once this explodes, and
Yeah,
we
once
become famous,
once I blow up, like
right, and you should, and I'll be happy to ride your coattails.
yeah,
and you'll say this guy.
But once this has enough traction where you could get in trouble, you probably maybe this will be bringing in enough money that you won't need that job. Right. Or
right.
and,
No,
maybe the twins can get a job too to help out
it's
around
time
the
for them to
house.
start helping.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna. We're not raising pansies forever.
Yeah,
so I think
for sure.
3 is a fair
Yeah,
age.
3. I had a job in 8th grade. I don't know.
Did
that
you
was my
really?
first
What were you
job.
doing?
I was sterilizing dental instruments.
It's
basically a
pretty
dishwasher.
Serious though.
It's basically a dishwasher with pointy dishes.
Yeah, but if you screw off, you're causing a lot of
Yeah,
infection.
but they had like all the things that I would sterilize. They'd have indicators, so
Okay.
it's like if I didn't sterilize it, it'd show up. You could see it's not
I'm still
sterilized.
uncomfortable with this.
Yeah, no, I mean we did lose a lot of people
From deaths, or they just left the office.
Yeah. Like, you got this teenager back there cleaning.
Hey, look at my mouth. My lips are rotting off. Oh, don't worry. No, Nathan's great.
Yeah.
He's definitely
playing
focusing on his
Pokemon.
real job and not his hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have a hobby then. I think I was going to go to the NFL. That was my...
It's a good thing you went back to engineering.
Yeah, I think the CTE probably would have caught up with me by
At some
now.
point. So where can people see you into January? In January, 1st of February?
In January. Oh, so I'm trying to live stream the Love This Week show. If anyone is interested in that, there's a Facebook called Love This Week and an Instagram called Love This Week SD for San Diego. The original Love This Week was taken on all one word, Love This Week, and I'm gonna stream it on YouTube. I bought a Mevo camera, if you know what that is.
No, what's a Mevo?
It's just like a camera that's made specifically for live streaming.
Okay.
Like, it comes with an app, and it's just sort of, it maybe saves you a couple steps.
Julius, do you know about this Mevo? Oh yeah, see, he's on it.
Oh, he's on it. Okay.
He's on it,
Yeah. So I bought one of those. It's being Amazoned to my apartment in San Diego right now. Because I've been putting some money into this because I'm moving into, I used to live in this really nice downtown apartment. I guess I still live there now, but January 10th is my last day there. And I'm moving in with some comedians, and my rent is dropping by $1,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know what I'm going to do with all this extra money, but for starters, I've already bought a Mevo camera.
There you go. Are those expensive?
It was like $400
so
for the
similar to like a GoPro.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a GoPro, but it's, instead of being able to go in water and stuff, it connects. It's got its own like live streaming app on there, and you just plug in your YouTube channel and do it. Yeah, it's got. I don't know. I don't think the audio is great. That's the
downside.
Yeah, because it can live stream in 1080p, which is good, and then it records in 4K. But I've heard the audio on it might be shaky.
So now, do you have like your own YouTube channel or Instagram, or how can people find the Nathan Driver?
Oh, I'm on Instagram at nathan.driver. I post mostly memes, and occasionally, like, my dad will say something crazy, and I'll try to record that around the holidays. That's what you're gonna get.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And any websites or anything like that where they can go find you?
No, I don't have any websites. If you're in San Diego, there's shows every Monday at the Madhouse Comedy Club. There's a heckle show that I run sound for.
Yeah.
It's like a normal stand-up show, but the audience is encouraged to participate.
Oh, nice.
And then I'm also the sound guy, and I also participate. So I have like just pretty much like a morning shock jock soundboard of like farts and like car crash noises and shit like that. And I just, during people's jokes, I try not to interrupt them too bad, but I'll just play some sounds. Like there's one comedian who's in a wheelchair, and he was trying to get up to the stage, and he was having some trouble. It's just a crowded room, and he's trying to.
Is there a ramp or are there stairs? Because stairs can be a problem.
Yeah, it's actually, there's no ramp. He just like wheels beside the stage. It's not a great setup for him. But yeah, I just kept playing this like beep beep like car sound noise, and the audience was pretty into that. I think it helped him start off his set better. They were already in a laughing mood just when he was on his way up stage. Yeah. It's just it's in this little room, and yeah, they're encouraged to give it back, because most of the comedians can handle it. If you're gonna try to insult a comedian, they're probably gonna make you look dumb first in front of your girlfriend or whoever. Like, right. Yeah.
Don't try that.
Yeah. No, try it on me. I don't mind it. I need to get better at dealing with hecklers. So.
Well, Nathan, brother, I appreciate you coming by.
Oh, yeah. Thanks so much. It's super fun.
On Nathan.driver. That's on Instagram.
Yeah, that's on Instagram. Sure.
Right. And if you're in the San Diego area, check him out on all the open mics or.
Starting January 9th, the second and fourth Wednesday of every month, will be a show called Love This Week in downtown San Diego. You can find that.
I love it, man. I'm going to keep up with you. Let's stay in touch.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.